Alrighty, guys, what's going on? My PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters. I'm One Eye Bright, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead universe. Today, November 14th, 2021, coming at you live stream to talk about the Walking Dead universe as a whole. And I've seen the latest episodes of World Beyond and Fear the Walking Dead, so we'll talk about them in the last half hour. Ultimately, guys, the Walking Dead universe is still going pretty strong. It's one of those things where I know not as many people are watching these extra shows. The spinoff shows are never as highly rated and viewed as the main show, The Walking Dead, and that's okay. We're here to talk about it. Some people don't watch the shows. They watch stuff on YouTube, whether it's this channel or other channels, because you can keep up with it and you don't have to waste the time for a lot of people's view. I don't think it's a waste of time because we are getting some information. And, overall, the Civic Republic military is still, there's two parts of it. The Civic Republic, which is like the government, and then the CRM, which is the Civic Republic military. So that's where we're at with it. So thank you guys for joining me. We'll wait for other people to join a little bit here, but we'll just keep talking. But again, no spoilers for the latest episodes on AMC Plus, or even, I guess, the AMC episodes. And it's just still weird to me that it's such a week ahead on AMC Plus, but I guess that gets people to watch it and to buy the service. So is it really bringing in that much money? I don't know. I know that I like watching it, and watching it there without commercials is definitely awesome. So I want to give a shout out to Lindsay Robb, one of our great subscribers, members, and really our moderator, one of our moderators for this live stream. And, a bunch of people are here for the right reasons, and it's always good to have some cool stuff. So thank you guys for being a part of it. Ada B, Mike Allen, hey, Kami, Mark, Jonathan Wilder. Mike Allen says, Bri, I got some news. So what's up, Mike? What you got? Let us know in the comments. Super chats, top chats are always welcome. Just being a part of it too. So John Rod says, you're always streamed during Cowboys games. Not always. They're not always at 1 o'clock, but we do go from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I believe the Sunday right now, November 14th, the Cowboys are playing the Falcons at 1 o'clock. So hopefully the Cowboys get a win, which I think they should. But any given Sunday, anything can happen. That's for sure. Sarah Q, hello. Floyd Midas, hello from Oil City. Puff Floyd Midas here, our PA. So Puff Lloyd, so it's PA. Mike Allen says Sasha's pregnant again. Well, congratulations, Mike and his wife Sasha. So, that's always good news to see. And, we're here for the Walking Dead universe, but we kind of turn ourselves into a family, a community where we get to meet people and talk to people too. And that's always a good thing in any shape or form. When you have a community feel, but you get to bond for a certain commonality, which is the Walking Dead universe, but we're people, and we get to connect through other means. So Mike is one of our longtime subscribers, people who support the channel, and he's a pretty cool guy that talk on here. I've never met the guy in real life, but on here, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all these different social media platforms, we get a chance to interact, and it's not face-to-face time to time, but I have met some people in real life, and it's always good to put a face with a name. But Mike Allen and his wife Sasha, congratulations. That's cool. So ultimately, guys, the Walking Dead universe is, I got a video coming out tomorrow that I will post, and it's a rumor. And there's a lot of rumors going around, a lot of speculation, a lot of different stuff, and we all know that the Walking Dead, it used to be the series of speculation, but it's really the universe of speculation, because there's so many different rumors and speculations and theories and ideas and potential spoilers and unconfirmed information and confirmed information and all this stuff under the sun. So we get to see different stuff, and people are talking about Rick's going to be here and Rick's going to be there, and this character is going to do this happen, and this is going to happen to this character and everything. So it's crazy to think what actually happens. And I can't remember when so many rumors were going around that were true. And to me, it was back when season 7, episode 1 was going to premiere, and we were waiting for the Negan lineup victim, which turned out to be victims. And we found out over the filming of the season 7 series, because they usually film from May to November, but then with COVID stuff, it's all different. So that was kind of the biggest thing of like, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. We're going to actually have 2 victims. And I can't really remember the longest thing. I remember when Carl was a thing, when Carl was going to, the word was is that he wasn't going to make it, that he was going to get injured, but survive. But then we found out he was going to die, and then it happened, and then it actually happened, and people didn't believe, like, how could they do that, Carl? That is the future of the show, and everything happened, and then it happened. So we'll have to see. Some rumors, the spoiler sites are still around. The main one is kind of still around, not really. So we'll see what happens with some of the rumors, and again, The Walking Dead is going to have a bunch of speculation. Hopefully, now, the big thing is that I believe they're going to still film to November. I believe Fear the Walking Dead is going to film till December. And we're getting close to the end of the first half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, and they're still filming, the second half. So we'll see when that comes around. I think because The Walking Dead is going to be February, and then it's going to be 8 episodes, so you think February, March into April. So then you probably would assume that The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead will be May, if not June, for the other 8 episodes, and then whatever they want to do with The Walking Dead final part, I think they're going to stretch it out, and it'll be an October release. And instead, it could be an August return for the final part, final 8 episodes. But I'm thinking it's October, just my guess, just because I think you're going to stretch it out. And without World Beyond, because World Beyond ends on AMC in 3 weeks, on AMC Plus in 2 weeks. There's only 2 more episodes of the World Beyond series because it's only 2 seasons. And I want to talk about that for sure because I feel like the World Beyond could have been and should have been probably 1 season of 10 episodes. But instead, they stretched it out 10 episodes and then stretched out again 10 episodes. So we got 20 episodes, and there's probably, I still think 7... so we're probably episodes 7, 8, 9, and 10 are pretty good in the first season. They're not great. The series is not great by any means, but it improved and they set some things up. And the way it ended was like, oh, they're reunited with Will and these people and this and that. And then nothing really came of that. And the same things that we thought were going to happen with Huck and her mom, they happened. There really wasn't anything yet, because again, there's only 2 more episodes, besides the Jadis stuff. And Jadis is back around, which is cool, but it just seems like a stretch. Like, we go from Jadis junkyard people, they talk weird, they're people, they're artists, to her having some power on World Beyond. And it's just like, are they just winging it? Are they really making us believe that this lady from the trash dump is this powerful person in the World Beyond? I mean, it seems like a stretch, and it really is. Some things are definitely, forced. So, John says, here's a theory. Rick Major Beal. We haven't seen any pics of the Major. So, we haven't seen anything of Major Beal yet. There's been some connections. We'll talk about that in the last half hour. But again, that's more speculation and rumor and theory about who is Major General Beal. I hope we find out. We'll probably find out in the last episode of the series. And then if the movies happen, we'll see it there too. So we'll see how it goes down. But ultimately, the World Beyond connection is kind of like what Fear the Walking Dead was. A lot of hype, a lot of build-up, a lot of stuff that we thought they could do with it. And then Nope. Like, it's just not really doing it. Like, it's just not that great. There's some decent moments and some decent characters, but it's just ultimately, Same thing with Fear the Walking Dead overall. We're on 7 seasons, and I'll give you 2, maybe 3 seasons are good. That's not even half. It's just but... Jonathan Wilder says, Q&A, if the Rick movies upload on AMC Plus, will you do a reaction to the movie on your channel? I'm not a reaction guy, John. I don't really do reaction stuff. To me, they're like overreaction. When the people that do them, they watch it, and when I watch a movie or a show or something, I'm like, what? No, how did that happen? What are you doing? That's cheesy. Come on, that's dumb. oh, okay, like maybe have a little bit of interaction. But when people do what I call overreaction videos, like, oh, no, what are you doing? Oh, no. Like it's just so over the dramatized, over dramatized, just too much, overreacting, and it's just not me. I just can't do it. So it's just not going to be something I would do at all. But I would do reviews and recaps and breakdowns of it, kind of the way it works with that. And I don't know, just what people do. And maybe they're selling it, maybe they're doing that. Just on YouTube too. People are like overly positive with things. And they're like, yeah, this, and then we can do this, and nightlife's good, and everything's just so much. Everything's so great, and so things there too. And people need that, but also I'm more of a realist too. I don't need to be saying everything in a great way all the time. And, that's just not for me. And I'm sure that's what YouTube is. Like YouTube makes a lot of people watch YouTube for different reasons. Whether it's education, entertainment, laughing, crying, learning, just whatever it is. It's just different things. So Big Tree says Cowboys 7, Atlanta 0. Nice. So Bob Smith, Morning Bride, good to see you. Good to see you too, Bob. But again, I'm not trying to put anybody down for what they do on YouTube. It's just not for me. I'm just not going to be those type of people that make those type of videos. And, I don't know whether it's being real or just who's got time for that? Like so many things we got so much going on in our lives to sit here and make these type of videos. I don't know. I like having a live stream once a week to interact with you guys here, posting videos. And, I didn't think I was going to be able to post a video every day last week, but I had the chance to do it. And it was really cool and really great. Sometimes they're in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, and sometimes I make them ahead of time. But I can't promise that every week just because it's a little crazy with the schedule here. BJ Logan 007, do you think Portland could be the Commonwealth, which would explain the CRM crossover in Part B of The World Beyond? So I don't know what's up with Portland because the easy answer is that it's Portland, Oregon. That's like the easy answer because that is the most notable Portland, I would say, right? Portland, Oregon is probably the biggest Portland that we know. But there's Portland, Maine, and Portland, West Virginia, and Portland, Texas, and Portland this, and Portland that. Is it going to be where we don't ever find out where Portland is? Or did Dr. Belshaw actually say Portland, Oregon? Does it really matter? Unless Rick is there or there's some major thing, who cares about Portland? Nobody, right? I mean, give us information that we care about. And I was thinking about it, right? It was so long ago that we learned about the PPP card, right? So the thing is that the PPP card, I think, turned into the 3 circles, the alliance of the 3. Because when you have the key cards now, like on World Beyond, they're using the key cards all the time in the key card access. And that's what Tara found. So I think Gimple or Kirkman or Gimple and Kirkman and Nicotera, whoever came up with the CRM stuff, which was probably Gimple because he's really credited with the World Beyond stuff, I think he came up with that and he was like, PPP. And we're like, what's that going to be about? But then it kind of changed and just magically went away and turned into the 3 rings, the alliance of the 3, the Civic Republic. And, again, we have to differentiate the Civic Republic and the Civic Republic military. So it would be nice if that was ever answered, but I think that's just what it turned into. So that's actually what it was, too. So I love watching the shows World Beyond and Fear the Walking Dead now and seeing Easter eggs, callbacks, connections. And it's really cool to see them. But if you saw my latest review about Fear the Walking Dead's episode last week with Dwight and Sherry and the new character Mickey and stuff there and Strand, and it's kind of like they're connecting in a way, but the story arcs of Strand and his tower is the Sanctuary 2.0. But Strand is nothing like Negan, and some people like Strand, some people don't. Strand to me looks really dumb in the hat, but that's what they're doing, and I'm just not sure. So it's crazy to think about what they're doing it for. Are they doing it because it's easy to replicate story arcs from there? Like we had the Negan lineup with Ginny. Are they doing it because it's familiar to us? Is it lazy writing, or why? Jonathan Weiler says Q&A. What if Negan didn't burn Lucille? How would Maggie react? I don't know. I mean, the biggest thing is if Negan had Lucille intact and he's walking around with Lucille, that would be different. If he didn't burn Lucille and Lucille sits in a closet somewhere and he doesn't take it out until all these walkers and people came around and then he used Lucille to defend himself, I don't know. I mean, it's the big thing is I just don't know how it would be. But to ask the question about Portland and the Commonwealth, I know everybody is thinking, like there's a common thing that I see in comments and talk to people on Instagram and everything. Everybody's thinking that Portland could be connected with the Civic Republic, like or the Commonwealth. And the Commonwealth knows about the Civic Republic, and the Civic Republic knows about the Commonwealth, and it's like another perimeter situation. But to me, there's no connection with that. We have never seen that. And again, it could be a theory that the fans are coming up with, and until it's shown in whatever one of the shows, it's just going to be theory right now. And I really do want the Civic Republic to be connected with the Commonwealth, because what's the point of having the end game be the Commonwealth story arc? Where do they go from there? The Commonwealth is a big group that's just for the comic. Now it's on the show. The Civic Republic has nothing to do with the comic. That's just for the show. But without the Civic Republic, we wouldn't have the World Beyond. We wouldn't have some aspects of Fear the Walking Dead. And I think we're going to get the Rick movies, and I hope we do. But the Rick movies are going to connect with the Civic Republic, really, obviously, because he went away in a helicopter, so it makes sense. But if Lance or Pamela Milton or somebody there, it makes sense for Lance and or Pamela Milton to be connected with the Civic Republic. Like, what if they're on the board? Like, that would make sense. Or Lance is connected with the Civic. Well, I think they both would be. I think the Miltons are a political family. The Civic Republic is like the government. So if it doesn't match up, what are we doing here? Like, what is going on here? It's just dumb. Don't know how it would connect without that way. I think we're going to have the rioting and stuff with the Commonwealth and the problems and the propaganda, and Sebastian and the Miltons are terrible, and now they're going to want to overthrow them because they're terrible, and they realize it now. All of a sudden, they finally realize it when our group shows up, but that's ultimately what the story does. So we'll have to see how it goes down for those things, and I do hope we do have some really big connections with the Civic Republic, the Commonwealth, Rick, Michonne. I don't know. There's been no word about Rick besides him being on vacation. The Michonne stuff, there's been nothing there. So we'll have to see how it connects. And I'm kind of really excited that I'm really excited to see how the World Beyond ends, just because I'm ready for it to end. And also I want to see where it goes too. So we'll have to see what they have planned. And I really hope it wasn't a big waste of time, but it could be too. So Devon Carter, PT, what do you think Maggie, not fully, forgives Negan, given the fact that Rick allowed him to live? I think Maggie and Negan are going to have to coexist, and that's what it's going to be. Will she ever forgive him? Maybe. Will she forget? No way, right? Forgive, but don't forget. Fool me once, fool me twice, all that stuff. But Negan is essential for the story. What would we have done in the first part of Season 10 without Negan and Maggie? What would we have done? It's been pretty nothing going on, too. So, Yo says Gimple did say that they know each other or something. So Gimple says a lot of things. So does Kirkman. People say a lot of things about what Gimple supposedly said, what Kirkman said, this and that said. I want it on I want it on screen. I want it in an episode. Obviously, point blank period. It's pointing in our face, slaps us in the face like CRM knows the Commonwealth. They know each other. That's it. We want it there. Not, oh, what if they know each other? What about Portland? And what about this? And what about that? Enough. Just give us the answers. Enough with the BS stuff. Just give us what we need to know. It's enough of this stuff. Where's Rick? Has it been Philadelphia all this time? We've seen the A's. They're test subjects. What about the B's? What about that? What about here? Just want to see what it is too. So, Sarah Q, I've seen all of Fear the Walking Dead and World Beyond so far. I will talk about the latest episode of Fear the Walking Dead in the last half hour, along with World Beyond. So, Fear the Walking Dead is Season 7, Episode 6, and World Beyond is Season 2, Episode 8. So we have 2 episodes left on AMC Plus of each show. So next week is the 21st, and the following week is the 28th. So both of those shows, we're going to get done in November. So December and January, We don't have anything unless they give us a trailer, which I hope we get a trailer. Maybe we get a special on World Beyond or on Talking Dead. So I don't know, right? I just want the idea to be that they're giving us something in December, January, and then in February we'll be back there February 20th on AMC, and hopefully a week earlier stuff. If they do the week earlier stuff on AMC Plus, it'll be pretty interesting going forward. Now the latest news, guys. Hopefully you saw my video talking about Fear the Walking Dead finishing their production in December for season 7 in Austin, Texas, or around Austin, Texas. So they've filmed in Texas for the past 4 years, I believe. So it was 4, 5, 6, and 7 they filmed there, which is, pretty cool stuff, and it's cool to see Texas on there. But the latest thing I've heard from the Austin Chronicle and a bunch of different, groups on Facebook is that the production is going to leave Texas and move to Savannah, Georgia. So why not, Pinewood Studios, or why not AMC Studios, or whatever it is there? Savannah, Georgia. Why are they filming there? But the fact that they could be moving to Georgia has a lot of people wondering, will we have more crossovers for it? That would be pretty interesting, because I would love to see. So if The Walking Dead is ending, why not have people from The Walking Dead go on Fear the Walking Dead, right? So The Walking Dead is ending, but Fear the Walking Dead sounds like we're getting a season 8. So that should start filming next year, or I guess next year, because I don't know if they're going to film, if the new studio lot is going to be, fully constructed by next year. But if they're filming in December, I don't know how quickly they can make a studio in 4 months, 5 months, if they're going to start filming next May for season 8. I just don't know how they're going to do it, what they're going to do. But that's a rumor going around. That's some news from, stuff online out of Texas, that the Fear the Walking Dead production is going to be leaving Texas for Georgia. So I would love to see people from The Walking Dead go on Fear the Walking Dead. Like, at this point, we need it. We need those people to come on the show. I think more people would watch Fear the Walking Dead if Aaron, Father Gabriel, Rosita, Eugene, whoever survives can go to Fear the Walking Dead, and between the two. Now, if they film in Savannah, Georgia, doesn't mean that they're going to be in the area of Virginia that they film in the story of The Walking Dead. So they film in Georgia, but the story takes place in Virginia for the Walking Dead story. Even though it's filmed in a different state, they've done the same thing. Even though they filmed in Texas and they're in Texas for The Walking Dead, or Fear the Walking Dead, The World Beyond filmed in Virginia, and the story takes place in Nebraska and New York. And it's just, they do that. A lot of times they do it all the time in shows and movies where they film in Georgia and they call it Minnesota or this place or that. But there's so many different things connected with the tax breaks in Georgia. I mean, you're saving millions of dollars for tax breaks, and that's a huge savings when you film a movie. You have budget, right? So if you're filming somewhere and you can save, a couple $1 million by filming in Georgia, you're going to do it. And Georgia has a lot of different great places. You can film, at the beach, Jekyll Island, that's in Georgia. You can film in cities, in studios, in streets, in beach, whatever. You can film in a lot of different scenarios right there, which is pretty cool stuff. So I saw Mike. Let me see a question here. John says, Q&A, do you think Morgan should leave Fear and run into Michonne to find Rick in the first movie, but without a Rick being in the first one? Well, I think we should see Rick in the first movie. Like, I don't want to see Michonne and Morgan, whoever, in the first movie without Rick. Like, I want to see Rick in all 3 movies. If Michonne and Morgan show up, that would be great. I would love to see Michonne come back somehow, way, shape, or form, because she's my favorite character, and I want to see the character back around again. So I want to see what's up with that. She went away. Is she ever going to see her son and daughter again? She better, right? Because that'd be pretty weird. But we'll have to see what the writing is. And if they're filming stuff in Georgia, Denai Guerrera is still in Georgia because they were filming Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, and she's in that. She's supposedly getting her own show on Disney+. So they'll probably film that in Georgia as well. So there's so many different things that she could still do and be there and film for a little. Like I'll take 2-3 episodes of a Michonne series and watch it and be excited about it. I don't need a 10 episode series. just have an abbreviated half a season. We don't even give me 4 episodes. I would be gladly take that for sure. Mike Allen says, I just started the new book, Bri. Thank you, Mike. I'll appreciate that. Hopefully you'll like that. Is Fight for Us Captured. So Fight for Us Captured is the latest book of my series. This morning, I just started, I have like 3 pages done of In 100 Days Part 3, getting that together. That'll be my next book coming out next year. And then we'll continue on with the Fight for Us story going on forward for that. But hopefully you guys are checking it out and you're liking it too. So Jane says, caught up on Bri's book series. It was a great storyline. So it has a great storyline. So thank you, Jane and Mike, and really whoever else checks out the book. It's definitely a project that I love to do and a series that I love to write and to be a part of it. And hopefully you get to see the story evolve and the writing evolve, and you like certain characters, don't like certain characters, see yourself in certain characters too. I'm always interested. So Mike and Jane and anybody else, if you read the book series, who's like your favorite character in the book series? So as of, book 15, Fight for Us Captured, you don't have to give anything away, but do you like this character or that? I would say, who's your favorite character and who's your, least favorite character? I would like to see that too, if you can, and post in the comments. So favorite and least favorite. So let me see. BJ Logan, how long does it take you to write a book? Well, the first 4 books were done rapidly. They were done too rapidly, and they really were rushed because I was excited to write the book series, and I was excited to, get the story out there and do everything. And, I was having some health problems. But either way, we had it and we did that. But now I try to get... right now, I started In 100 Days Part 3, literally today, November 14th, writing it. I have, 5-6 pieces of paper with, stuff written around and everything that I definitely have my notes down to get on track and to where we left off and what I want to focus on and what I want to hit on there too. So probably I would say the best way for me is it would take probably 4 months to get the book done the right way and efficiently and edited correctly. So I can write it, I try to write a page a day, which to me is anywhere between 12, 13, 14 pages are chapters. So if you're writing, 13 pages a day, that adds up pretty quick if you're writing every day. Now, this with my full-time job, it's going to cut into that, so it could be a little slower. But when I have the writing and I have the stuff is flowing and it's doing good, I'm like just typing away. And the first draft is I just want to get it down on paper or on my Word document, so on paper. But I want to get it done and write it together. And then I go back and I clean it up. And then I have my wife read it and edit it. And then I read it one more time, edit it, and then submit it. So I write it, edit it, my wife reads it and edits it, and then I edit it. So there's at least 4 things that are done with it. Then I usually make the cover, the back cover, the front cover when the story's coming together. And I have an idea of what I want for the cover typically, but some things change and things change with the story arc. And, it's just stuff happens. And, it was really funny. I was talking to my dad the other day, and he bought the latest book and he's excited to read it. And I was like, I've changed things so many times in the story that I saw things done in a certain way. And then I'm like, what if we change this, or we did this, or we do something and it changes and it goes down this other tangent. So it's pretty cool. It's probably how things are done on scripts and movies and other books too. I can only imagine what it's like, because when I'm writing stuff, I'm like, okay, where's this going? Who's around? Okay, what would happen here? What would be their interaction? Okay, well, say Ryan and Phil, that's based on myself and my friend Phil that I've known since elementary school, who Phil is an actual police officer and back in New Jersey, though different. Again, it's loosely based on my friends. And there's like interactions of like Phil would laugh at this and I would laugh at that, and we would, bust each other's balls and mess with each other and remember this time in high school, remember that, oh yeah, you're still the same guy type of thing. And hopefully you get to see that, because kind of that's what I write it on there too. And you kind of just see where it's going with different characters and the interactions with it. And then you see these characters as personalities and as people too. So Jonathan Wilder says, Q&A, do you want to turn your books into movies? I would love to. I wouldn't mind having into like a TV series or like a streaming series, or even I really want to get like illustrations for stuff, because sometimes things are written in a way, and I would think it would be pretty cool that people can visualize it. Maybe they agree with it. Maybe they see things. When you see things, I leave some things ambiguous. That you leave things ambiguous on purpose so people can kind of visualize it themselves. If I kind of painted the picture like too in depth, it would be maybe a little, I don't know, too much, explanation of it too. So I'm treading on the side of people can visualize it a little bit more in their own head, and it's how they see things too. So I don't know, maybe it's just a thing down the road. I would love to have it. I would love to make a comic out of it, or graphic novels. There's a big difference of graphic novel versus comic book, in my opinion, but ultimately it's the same kind of thing. I would love for it to be, just more visualization, or maybe just a book of illustrations. That'd be pretty cool too, when it's kind of done, when the series is kind of ending. Jonathan Wilder says the movies. BJ Logan says, do you want an end game to the book series already? I don't want it to end, but it's going to have to end, and I do have an ending in mind, or at least an aspect of it, because I think everything, you should start it as the beginning, the middle, or the peak, the apex, or the climax, and then the end. So it's like a mountain, or a triangle, or a pyramid. It just can't be like everything goes up and never ends. Or some things end and start a new thing and whatever, like a sinusoidal wave, they say. So you have to have things like it's sad, but I think The Walking Dead needs to end. Like, it just needs to be there too. So, but all right, guys. Jane says, Bri, I like Ryan as the best character and all of his close buds. The crew from Channel Side can't be trusted. And that's true. That's true. That's true. And Dial M for Masala. Day of the Dead on the Sci-Fi Channel. Day of the Dead is pretty cheesy, and I stopped watching it after the first episode, I'm not going to lie. So, all right, guys, we're in the last half hour of the hour stream. Let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 8, and World Beyond Season 2. No, what is it? No, Season 7, Episode 6, and World Beyond Season 2, Episode 8. Sorry, I got those two together. So let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead first. So Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 6 is called Reclamation. And it is, it's a missed opportunity episode. So it focuses on Althea, Morgan, Grace. We do see Isabel and two people from the Civic Republic military. That's the whole episode. And so Althea is in her SWAT truck. She's getting her belongings and getting her stuff. She's out of gas, so she can't drive anywhere. And she's watched. So you get to see like then and now. We see the video recordings of her and Isabel. So her and Isabel have some different stuff in there. You don't see Isabel for a long time in it, but she's assumed to be the one from the holding the camera while she's talking to Al. So it also says guest starring Maggie Grace, who is Althea on the show. So I don't know why this is her last episode. Did she leave because of COVID? Did she leave for being pregnant? Did she leave for doing this? Did she? I don't know. I can't remember if there was a rumor that Maggie Grace was pregnant, or some news that she was. But it would make sense because at the end of the episode, or you watch the behind the episode stuff, Maggie Grace is not going to be in the rest of season 7. So this is Althea's, I guess, last episode for whenever they bring her back. So we're not going to see her until season 8 at the earliest, because the showrunner did say this is her last episode. So it's her goodbye episode. And it feels that way, but it feels forced the entire time. So Althea is trying to listen on the radio. She's looking at the things. She's trying to get, trying to basically see where Isabel is. She hears about the reclamation team. She hears about this. So she walks away from the MRAP. She tries to get a better signal. Helicopter comes, and it's the reclamation team, which is 2 CRM soldiers. That's it. There's nobody else around. So the two soldiers come. They stole a bunch of stuff from her, I guess from her bag, but then they didn't really take anything. Morgan was there. So the thing that Morgan ends up hearing Althea on the radio or whatever a couple times. So he ends up going to the MRAP, the SWAT truck. So he goes there. He looks at the camera, looks at some things. So it's not really anything for it. It's Morgan looking at the older videos and everything there too. This Althea comes back to the SWAT truck. Morgan ends up hiding on top of it. As Althea runs back to the SWAT truck, she jumps underneath it, hides. The two people are coming around with the guns, and they're looking. They don't see her. Althea gets into the SWAT truck. Morgan comes down and holds his knife to her, doesn't know it's Althea. Then, oh, it's Al, is that you? And they talk and whatever. So the whole thing is that Althea wants to go find Isabel. They're looking for Isabel because Isabel helped Althea and her group escape. Now Isabel's in trouble. She's not part of the CRM anymore. She's hiding out. So Isabel is in trouble. Althea wants to help her. She wants to find out things. And it's basically like Al wants to leave, wants to stay, wants to go on her own. Morgan's like trying to get information out of Althea, but Althea doesn't want to say anything about Isabel. And then they get chased by the CRM soldiers. So the CRM soldiers are hitting every car around them. They jump over cars. They hide here. They talk. What's going on? What's up this person? Who's this person? What do we know about this person? I can't tell you. Do you know this person? Yeah, I know this person. Do you know where she is? No. Are you with her? No, I'm not with her. It's just like a bunch of questions that get nowhere. Grace is there, and Morgan calls Grace in the car. She shows up. She opens the door, says, "Come on, get in." They're hiding. They have to hide behind cars because the CRM soldiers are firing at them. They never hit them, by the way. And Grace and Morgan get in the car and they drive away. I guess the car is out of gas, so they hide it behind some trees and they decide what to do. It's more of Morgan and Althea. What do you do? Are you going to leave or are you not? I don't know. Where are you going to go? I don't know. What are you going to do? So Althea leaves and goes to this house, which is a kind of a nice house, by the way. And she knows this house because she was there with Isabel. So it's kind of like then and now with Isabel and Althea talking. We see that Isabel and Althea were together when the nuke went off. You see it go off. They talk. Isabel leaves. And Althea, clearly wasn't there when Isabel was in the helicopter and rescued Daniel, Sarah, Charlie, and Luciana and that group and Wes, and they flew away. And so Althea's trying to figure out what to do and this and that. Morgan goes back to the helicopter to get the gas and the weapons. But Althea knows that the helicopter is not going to be having weapons because it's a smaller helicopter. It wasn't brought to have a bunch of people with them. So there's just the two people in it. There's gas in there. Althea says that you can put the helicopter gas in the diesel of the SWAT truck and it'll work. So Morgan and Grace end up getting in trouble. They get, caught by the two CRM soldiers. And it's really cheesy because Althea is like, I know where CR-17 is, which is Isabel, and I'm not going to tell you, come here to this house. We'll meet you there. No, we're not going to meet you there on the radio. And they're talking. But the two soldiers, one's on Morgan with his gun right in the face, and the other one they're on the ground in the street. So, Isabel is the target. Althea is trying to give information, but not give information. Morgan and Grace are like, don't tell them, don't do this, don't do that. We're fine, we're this. And they're just like, it's such crap because Morgan is laying on the street on his back, and the guy has this rifle pointed at Morgan. He's like 3, 2, and 5. He fires like 3 shots, wasting bullets above Morgan, and saying that he's acting like he's actually shooting at Morgan with the radio on. It's not like it's a phone, but either way, it's a radio, and they're talking back and forth. Morgan ends up knocking the rifle out of the guy's hand, knocking him down. The other guy is standing on Grace's, has his foot on Grace's chest. Well, I guess it's a guy. We don't know if it's a guy. But Grace kicks the guy's legs out. The guy goes down. Morgan stands up and takes the rifle and points it at the other guy. Grace should have been killed. Grace should have been shot. Like, there's no way around it. The other CRM soldier, they're a reclamation team. They're supposed to take these people out. It was terrible writing. So it was like, whatever. Morgan, has the gun pointed at him. They end up fighting some more. The gun goes down. It's just really stupid. Grace gets into the MRAP, starts it up. Morgan gets away, jumps into the MRAP, drives away, and then the two soldiers fire a bunch of times at the MRAP as it drives away. It's just really stupid writing and makes no sense. Morgan and Grace should not have survived. At least Grace shouldn't have survived. Like, somebody should have been injured at least, right? So you're like, so stupid. So Althea is at this house where she has a cannon at the front gate. And she has this plan that she's going to tie a string around her waist, talk to the two soldiers, and then jump down, and the line's going to get pulled out for the fuse, and then the thing's going to blow up, or the cannonball is going to come flying out and blow up the walker, because it was a test run, and that's what it was. So Althea has this plan to tie stuff around her waist, duck down, and then blow up the two soldiers, which doesn't happen that way. But either way, as Morgan and Grace are driving the MRAP around, the helicopter starts to fly after the MRAP. Don't know why Morgan didn't take all the gas, or like really enough of it, and even if you fill it up the tank of the MRAP or the cans, just dump it all out so the helicopter can't fly. But either way, the helicopter flies. It flies towards the house that Althea is at. The MRAP shows up, parks there. They talk. Althea gets into the MRAP. Meanwhile, the two soldiers are walking towards the house really slowly. It's really just, I don't know. So either way, they get there. It's kind of a showdown. Althea gets out of the MRAP, talks to the soldiers, because the cannon thing now that Althea tied around her waist isn't going to work, because a walker comes out of nowhere, walks into the path of the line, unclips it from the cannon. So like, oh crap, we have to get this back on there. So it's just dumb. So then Morgan has to go to the cannon, set it all up, do this. And before that, Grace put all these rocks and stuff inside the cannon, so it's going to blow up a bunch of different things. It's not just going to be a cannonball. It's going to fire a bunch of rocks like shrapnel. So there's a big showdown, this and that. They talk, blah, 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 blah. They say now. Grace drives away. Morgan pulls the line, blows up the soldiers. It's pretty gross, pretty gory, pretty great. It's probably like the best part of the episode. Boom, they blow up, and they're gone. So Althea goes back to the helicopter. There's a report about the CR-17, which is Isabel, the target. Althea talks to the people on the radio, acts like she's the reclamation team 1. Yeah, where you going? Here's the coordinates, 29.48, whatever it is. The coordinates come up, and then they go, and Althea's like, I need to go there. What are you going to do? And Morgan says, well, I saved your life. I need to interview from you. So it's callbacks to when Althea saved her life, or saved Morgan's life, so then they interviewed each other. So it's just kind of what it was. So then Morgan interviews Althea, the final goodbye. Althea says, I can't answer that. Well, it's this. I can't answer that. She doesn't really answer any questions. So she gets her stuff and she walks away. She also has a red, a bright red sleeping bag. So it stands out. So I'm like, oh, man, well, she's going away. It turns out, she's gone. This is her last episode of the season, per the showrunner. So she ends up going to the coordinates. She turns on the helicopter like she's going to fly it. Like, I guess Althea knows how to fly a helicopter. Like, it's so easy. But we don't see it ever take off. Next thing you know, there's a little boat that she was on evidently with her stuff, and she goes to a cabin. She goes into the cabin. That's where Isabel is. So she goes inside. There's the TV on. She plays the tape that's in there. It's the same tape of Isabel interviewing Althea, basically. And it's weird because Althea is talking on the tape, talking in the cabin, and Isabel has her gun, points it at her, and then, she turns around. We got to stop beating like this. So it's Isabel, Althea, and then Althea on tape. They talk about things on the tape. Then Isabel answers the questions on the tape, and it's just really weird how they did it, how they talk and this, and I talk this and there and whatever. So it turns out that Althea and Isabel are going to leave the area, go somewhere safe, and be together. That's the happy ending in the Walking Dead universe that we'll see. We'll hopefully see them again in season 8. So we're probably not going to see, because we're not going to see Althea again this season per the showrunner. So we're not going to see Isabel. So I don't know about seeing CRM again this season, because how does it connect? Just not sure. And also before that, the guy that was with Teddy, I'm blanking on his name, that had the jumpsuit that they wrote "end," that Wes wrote "end" on the back, in the spray paint from the sub. He's Althea kills him. He's a walker now, so I'm blanking on his name, but he's there at the beginning of it, and that's the episode. It's really not that great. It's really like, I don't know. It's a lot of BS back and forth. Like, what do we do? What are we going to go? Yeah, why not go there? Why not go see that person? Why not save this person? Well, I'm going to stay and help you. You saved me, so I'm going to save you. And I'm going to help you. You helped me. And it's like back and forth and blah, 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 blah. It's a really, I don't know. I don't want to say dumb episode, but it's really not that great. It's just like what it is. But it turns out that it's Althea's last episode this season, so it's kind of forced. But next week, it's going to be a big episode with Strand, John Dory Sr., June, Morgan, Grace, baby Morgan, just like a bunch of things too. Like a bunch of stuff's going to happen next week's episode. It's the penultimate episode of the first, half, so it's usually a big episode. Hopefully, season 7, episode 7, and then 708 will be really big, leading to Padre. We still don't know about Padre. We have no idea about that. Still no answers about there, so we'll have to see what goes down. But ultimately, it's a forced, cheesy episode that is like, what's going on here, right? Like the reclamation team of the Civic, they're soldiers. They have training. They have weapons. They have guns. They have bayonets. They have just like Morgan and Grace like get away. Like it's easy. It's just dumb. But either way. So World Beyond season 2, episode 8 is a continuation of the story with the Perimeter and the Civic Republic military, and then we see We see 2 years ago that Indira is talking to Elizabeth Kublik about her condition, and Elizabeth Kublik comes up with the idea for that you just keep doing what you're doing, keep working with us, and we'll give you the medicine that you need for your dialysis, for your kidneys. So it was Elizabeth Kublik and Indira who came up with the deal, and that kind of rubs some people wrong at the Perimeter. Because Will comes back to the Perimeter by himself. Because if you remember, he was with Dev, Indira's son, who was killed by the patrols of the CRM. And he goes back alone, tells Indira about it. Indira says, it's not your fault, it's my fault. I sent him out, I did this. I'm sick. I made a deal with the CRM. I did this, I did that. Let's get out of here. So it's definitely something that it's building, more building and building and building. And I mean, we only have 2 episodes left. So what are we building for? We're building for this big stuff. And again, when the buildup is there, a lot of times it falls flat. It doesn't build up the hype. It's just a lot of crap too. So either way, this episode's decent. It's some stuff happens. And so Indira tells everybody, even the guy, Brody or whatever, that doesn't like Indira, and he was like, I'm going to have a vote of no confidence in our leader. Well, he ends up going to the Civic Republic and telling Jadis and her group about everything that Indira is doing. And Huck is there, and Huck is on our side, right, on Team Family's side. So she is there and knows all this information. And this guy, Brody, how stupid this guy is, says, yeah, well, you've been playing both sides since you came back, because Huck has been to the Perimeter with Hope in there. So he kind of knows some stuff too. So Jadis and her whole group leave the room. It's Huck and this guy. And he's like, well, you know what I want? I want asylum here. I want safety here. I want this. And I'll keep my mouth shut. So Huck's got to be like, I can't trust that. I can't trust this guy. So they're like, what are you going to do, Huck? What are you going to do? So she turns around, takes her gun out, boom, takes that guy out, which she had to do, which is like, good. Get rid of this guy. This guy's terrible. So he's gone. Jadis and her group comes back in, and he's like, what happened? This guy's playing both sides. He's done this. He said this. He was a rat. He was doing that. And Jadis is like, I don't know, nah, can't be trusted. Indira's group, they still can't be trusted. So Jadis sends her patrols out to the Perimeter. CRM shows up just as Will and everybody are getting ready to leave, Will kind of hides, gets away. Indira is there, as the Humvee with all this, the guards and all the stuff there. And so Indira's people are in trouble. It's another lineup. They're all on their knees. They're all sitting there. You have Indira, Elton, Asha, everybody there except for Will, who's on the side of a building, and he's seeing everything there too. So the soldiers are lined up and ready to take out the lineup with Elton, Asha, Indira, that all the people from the perimeter. So that the one guy goes away and he tells that Brody left to go, tell everyone there too. So it's a whole big mess. So ultimately it's Indira's in trouble. Will has his gun ready and he's going to shoot them too. But before that, Dennis and Silas are walking by themselves in the woods and they're talking about this and about that and what to do and why did you do this and why did you help me? You're a good guy and you're this. And also before that, Huck and Dennis work on a CRM truck loading up supplies and taking stuff there. Silas, and Huck talk, but not really. Huck says, you don't have to like me. You don't have to do this, but you have to trust me. This only works if you trust me because, Huck is playing both sides, but she's married to Dennis. So she trusts Dennis. She loves Dennis. So she's going to do everything she can to help them, what they're going to do. So Huck drives away in the Humvee that's loaded up with supplies and ammo and everything. So Dennis and Silas leave the area that they're at and they're walking to go to the perimeter. So they're walking and they're talking and what are they going to do? Two walkers come out. They kill the walkers in an over dramatic way with some knife strikes, but they kill the walkers and a bunch of walkers come out. So they're like, let's go hide behind these bushes. So they hide and they're like, oh, there's like hundreds of them. We have to hide here. It's going to take forever. What's going to take forever? What are we going to do? Well, we have to stay here. What are we going to do? So of course, Dennis and Silas show up right before the lineup goes off because Will comes out and shoots the leader that was going to take out Indira. But here's the BS, right? So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's at least like 6 or 7 soldiers ready to on the firing line, plus the lieutenant who's like running things. He's like on my mark, and Will shoots him, the leader. So takes him out. So there's no mark, but the firing line doesn't shoot anybody at all. Like Will shoots, and then is out of ammo. And then Dennis and Silas come out and help out. But the firing line had plenty of time to take out the perimeter people that are in a line right there. They have no weapons. They're just in a lineup for them to just shoot down. But they don't. We're just like, what are you doing? It's so stupid. So either way, and before that, Elton is kneeling next to Asha, and they look up, and Elton has a moment of clarity, and there's a leaf flying in the air. And then Elton grabs Asha's pinky, and they're like, ooh, and they look at each other. And Elton's like willing to die and ready to die. And it's like so over dramatic and so much like that. But either way, Silas and Dennis help out. They do this. Some of the perimeter, they fight back. I think like 3 of the people in the perimeter get killed by not Indira, Asha. No, they're all safe. The main people are safe. But some of the people are killed. There's a guy just standing there with a spear. And he's like, oh, and he gets taken out. You're like, what are you doing? Go hide in the house or something. It's just so stupid. But either way, they take out, I think Dennis, who's kind of a badass, takes a grenade and throws it, blows up the mill or whatever, and they take out the CRM people. And then they, the lieutenant guy aims his gun and is about to shoot Asha and Elton, and then Indira shoots him, takes him out with the rifle. And, it's a kind of a good little fight scene and battle scene, but it's like a Western where like, like it's kind of cheesy, but overall it's, what happens. So, but then Dennis is walking towards them and he's like, you guys got to get it ready. We got to do this. And he holds his side and he removes his shirt and he's shot right like in the abdomen, right where Rick kind of was with the rebar. And then he kneels down. Silas just runs toward him and he's like, Dennis. And he just stands there and then nothing. But then you see in next week's episode, you see Dennis is laying on a sofa and they're trying to patch him up, I guess. So we'll see if Dennis lives. I still think about that. I still think Dennis is going to die, but we'll see if it's in a heroic way. He could do something pretty big on there too. So, but we'll see how things go down for it. The other thing is that Dr. Bennett recruits the scientists to, we're going to work on an escape plan. We're going to do these things. And there's a woman scientist, the other guy, T. Brooks Ellis guy, it's the callback to Eugene. And then another scientist. One guy's like, yeah, I don't know. What can we do? Where are we going to go? We got to find a laboratory. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? We're like, that dude's going to rat them out. But he doesn't. It's the guy from the perimeter that does. So Jadis has a great idea that says, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have an evacuation protocol. We're going to see who shows up, who doesn't. We're going to see what the rot is. We're going to see where the red sprouts, the rot spreads. Sorry. So we're going to have to see what happens with that. And then ultimately the alarms go off. The scientist and Dr. Bennett, Hope, Iris, Felix, and the security protocols and Percy and all that stuff, they go towards the lab that they're supposed to do. Hope and Iris, there's Huck on the radio, tells Hope and Iris, you need to get out of here now because Jadis is going to come kidnap you. And Jadis and her security people go into the room and everybody's gone. So Huck alerted. Huck's on our side. She's helping everybody out too, for sure. So Hope and Iris leave the room, go into the hallway. Hope gives the bag to Iris, says, go to the lab. I'll be there. I have to go do something. So she runs down the hallway. She runs into, luckily at this perfect timing, Major General Beale's son. I forget his name. Doesn't really matter. But either way, his son. She's like, you have to come with me. You got to come with me. And he's like, why? What's going on? You just trust me. You have to come with me. Just trust me. So, of course, he likes her. So he's like, all right, let's go. So she takes him, and now the alarm's going off. Like, So what are we going to do? They make just in the time to run into the lab. So Dr. Bennett, Iris, Hope, and Major General Beale's son run into the lab. The doors close. The security doors close. So those security doors are not going to be able to open unless they get this stuff back online, which is going to take 2 minutes at least to reboot the system. So, or 20 minutes or whatever. It's just a certain time like where they're going to do it. So when Felix and Dr. Bennett are talking, they get sledgehammers. They start smashing into the concrete to go to the tunnel underneath. They work on some things. When the doors open, when it reboots, an explosion goes off. Boom, kills some of the CRM soldiers, but also covers up the hole so that people can't follow them. So that's ultimately where they go. So they're safe for now. Everybody's safe. And like I said, Huck takes out that Brody guy. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty good stuff. Dennis gets shot. We don't see him get shot, but he's bleeding on the abdomen on his lower left side. So is he going to make it or not? I don't know, but I didn't think he would. But we'll see if he has enough left in him to let our group get away. Does it get patched up? Hopefully it gets patched up. He's kind of a cool character, but again, it's such a minor role for the character that we'll see how it goes down too. So I'm excited to see where it goes for the final two episodes. But again, it's like stuff happens, but nothing really happened. It's like Huck solidifies that she's on the side of Dr. Bennett. They kidnapped Major General Beale's son, so that's their bargaining chips. And also Major General Beale sees the walkers that were the science projects. He's like, you're going to feed me to them? He's like, no, I won't. She goes, I won't let anything happen to you. You'll be fine. So still no aspect of Major General Beale besides him in the newspaper talking about things. Also about his son. So if it is Rick, I don't know how Rick had this son. I don't know. But I would assume that Rick is not Major General Beale. But that's a theory going around town too. So it's definitely something that stuff happens, but it doesn't happen. We'll have to see. There's only 2 more episodes. So I really hope there's some major stuff. Next week's episode looks pretty good. Jadis is still around. So it's really cool that Jadis has had such a major part of this show. I'm glad it wasn't like 1 episode or like 5 minutes of it and then she left. But it's kind of wishful thinking that she was just this person at a junkyard, didn't really do anything, called the CRM helicopter, lied to them about having an A or a B, took Rick there. What was the thing that was so valuable? Why is she a warrant officer? Like, you would have to work your way up to that. Don't know, but it's what we got. It's where we're going with it, and hopefully there's more major connections. I would assume Jadis gets away somehow, some way. I would love for her to connect with the final season of The Walking Dead. I think that would be the most realistic thing, that Jadis comes back around again in season 11. But she couldn't just show up without her CRM soldiers, because that's who she is now too. So I think that'd be pretty cool to see, but again, we're just not there yet too. So ultimately, guys, let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. I'll be posting videos throughout the week. Be safe, be sound, and remember, guys, thank you guys for joining me. I truly appreciate it. And remember, with hard work and dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories. Keep working hard. You can achieve things. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about The World Beyond Season 2, Episode 9, and Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 7. So thank you, guys. I truly appreciate it. I'll be posting videos all week. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Become a member. If you can support the PT channel, we truly appreciate it. But thank you guys for being a part of this channel, this stream. I'll be back next week.